Welcome back, Guardians. In this report, we will begin to take a closer look at the theories of the darkness from a heretical exile, Toland the Shattered. Mind you, the theories of one warlock known for his incomprehensible texts on the Hive, the creator of that abominable bad juju, should be treated with respect. We still don't know if these madness-infused ramblings can cause unforeseen symptoms. But Toland is idolized by many in the tower and beyond. Hundreds of the unconvinced or disillusioned still choose to question the reason of his exile. And perhaps for the right reasons. We've seen many times in the tower's history that any guardian who chooses to go against the ruling of the consensus or provide some radical new theory is cast out, as if this new access to knowledge is nothing more than mere heresy. Regardless of the politics behind his exile, this mad warlock's theories carry weight and should be discussed with the utmost care. But before we begin, I've compiled a report on Toland. It's a bit more in-depth, but it doesn't specifically discuss his theories, so if you'd like more information before we begin, I recommend listening to that. His theories on the darkness are questionable at best. They're written by a touched mind. A mind that hungered well past its appetite. And while we see glimpses of true narrative flow, much of his writings are difficult to comprehend. Toland believed in the natural law of the jungle, on a universe-wide scale. The first battle wasn't between light and dark, but between the atom and the primordial broth. The atom won that first war of creation because it was stronger. It was a better fit to form the stars, galaxy, and life. Essentially, it was not that the primordial broth wasn't capable of creating life, it simply wasn't the most efficient. It lacked ability or imagination. And so the atom took its place as a worthy successor. All you see from the tower to the depths of Luna, past the Jovians, is because of that first war. Toland calls this the blind law. Roughly translated, it assumes that there isn't really a meaning to life, that there's no reason for existence. Life came to be because the most ruthless and capable beings, the atoms, were more stable and efficient. The law of the universe, this blind law, forever favors the most ruthless. Now you might think, how does that make sense? Surely there is a reason for all this suffering, for our return from the peace of death in service to a wounded god of light. Perhaps reason, as Toland would describe it, is a simplified question that is only a non-starter. But in his journals, Toland provides us with an analogy to better explain this blind law of the universe, commonly referred to today as the three queens or the three-army argument. It's presented in a way that not only makes sense to the current culture of war we seem to have made our home in, but supports Toland's intriguing, if not convoluted, theory. First, there is a queen who rules over a kingdom with law and order. In her kingdom, all of her subjects are given fair trial, freedom, and the ability to seek their own, and it is a peaceful way of life. The second queen rules her kingdom from a high tower. She has the ability to see all of her subjects, all of the stars, and her thirst for exploratory knowledge is legendary. In her kingdom, science and understanding are paramount amongst her subjects, and it too is a peaceful life, a life free from struggle. The final queen rules her kingdom with an iron fist. She is military-minded, focuses her efforts and that of her subjects on waging war and being the most efficient. Her rule is the most ruthless. Her subjects are dissatisfied and unhappy, but they survive. The other queens and their subjects only live. You see where this is going, don't you? The third queen, the one with armies of efficiency and death at her back, so thoroughly eliminate the other two kingdoms that the very thought of their existence in our time is nothing short of illusion. After the third queen, the queen of armies, has won, there will be another round with another three queens. This time each has an army. One is an army of gunpowder, one is an army of disease. and one as an army of the Word. And again, the three will fight until there is only one. One way of life, one existence. This is the blind law. This is our law, and we'd be foolish to believe in nothing else. The last piece of Toland's theory is aimed directly at the tower and its traveler. The shadow this thought casts envelops them both. From Toland's words, I quote, "Of course, it might be that there was another country with other queens, and in this country they sat down together and made one law and one tower and one army to guard their borders. This is the dream of small minds, a gentle place ringed in spears. But I do not think those spears will hold against the queen of the country of armies, and that is all that will matter in the end." Many would consider that statement inflammatory, heretical even, and it is most likely what led to Toland's exile. But what if he is right? Maybe we do live in a country with many queens, and our ideas are small-minded, incapable of being efficient. Perhaps, or perhaps not. Many would attribute the armies of the darkness, specifically the Hive, or rather taken under Oryx, as the pinnacle example of the Queen of Armies. The Hive's entire religion, the sword logic, is based upon the thought that anything with the inability to protect itself or secure its own way of life should be made extinct. That each hive is to be made greater through constant struggle. There is no peace, there is no rest. There is only shaping oneself into a finer instrument of perfection. From the lowest of the thralls to even the hive's god, those worms, all must honor the sword logic. All must follow its harrowing path to absolution or risk joining an eternity of nothingness in the abyss. All hive must pay a tithe to their overlord, and in turn, the overlord pays a tithe to his master, and so on, all the way to the god kings and the worms that rule over them. The tithe is death, it is destruction, it is extinction, it is fuel. This is what Toland subscribed himself to, that the sword logic was majestic, that the universe of war and death and decay and entropy is majestic. Thoughts almost too sympathetic in ending our way of life. Maybe Toland is insane. Maybe his thoughts are fragmented like a shattered mirror, all attempting to speak at once, rarely conveying natural thought. Or maybe, just maybe, he understands this is our universe. Our universe follows one law. It is not a law of reason. It is not a law of understanding. It is and forever will be a law of efficiency. Every day the city stands. A guardian forces the darkness back or halts its progress in a war of attrition that will last eternity. We pay homage to this blind law, that the darkness follows and that the light follows. Neither side is evil and neither side is good. They both vie to be the most efficient, to tell the other who has the right to live and who has the right to die. As long as we fight, as long as we struggle, our efficiency is made self-evident by our countless victories against the encroaching tide of endless supporters of the darkness. Maybe we, as Toland put it, are the army, the kingdom of warfare. Maybe we support the sword logic in our own more efficient way. Only time will tell. But what do you believe? Is there truth in this mad warlock's words? Or should we focus our energies on more immediate dangers? Until that end, we will struggle, we will fight, and you will all walk tall as guardians. Hey everyone, Wally here. If you'd like to support the channel further, please feel free to check out the script link, my Patreon, and the new apparel in the Spreadshirt shop, all linked down below. If you want to join the conversation on our Discord server, we allow everyone in. Like the video if you enjoyed the content, and subscribe for more.